All right, so the path for the man, it's gonna be long, hard. It's gonna take a lot of courage to really, conquer it. But I always believe like the first hurdle, at least in my experience and just me becoming my own man and learning and growing, was my emotions. My emotions got in the way of everything, how I felt. Because a lot of my emotions were very underdeveloped and very immature. I didn't know how I felt a lot of my life. So when I was trying to really make sense of my own life and how I felt, I understand that my emotions was the main thing stopping me. Now I believe that for a young boy or even just young men, emotions is like a small flame. And then when that small flame, start to grow and it's left unattended and neglected, it becomes like a forest fire. And it's liable to destroy everything that's around it. A lot of emotional instability, and it grows to wreak havoc on everybody in the community, your family, your loved ones, anybody you even care about. Emotions are like a state of being, and they are very complex. As I reminisce on my younger years, I realized that initially I was always very sad, but my sadness and my emotional instability as I became like a teenager started to really become anger, like self-doubt and like a fear like growing up further. And I started to really realize that damn, like this is like it was a reflection of society, but also like how my peers, my male counterparts are like really like, okay, well, they're feeling the same way. Some people I know be in the street, some people just lounge around all day not doing nothing. It's like that's how my emotional, instability manifested itself. And these negative emotions like anger, fear, or even just self-doubt, when they're in these type of negative environments and they're not allowed to be expressed healthily, they come out very destructively. And like I said earlier in the video, they wreak havoc on anybody that's around. And when I started to look inwardly inside myself, I had like a very extreme hard time with expressing myself. That's just because I was always just shy. I was always a shy person. Maybe that was just how life has, like I said, bred me to become. I was always just to myself, even with my family. I just don't trust. I never trusted anybody. I never wanted to speak about a lot of things that was plaguing my mind, or even just anything inside my mind. Even though I was a very creative kid, I was just always to myself. I felt no reason to speak outwardly. And then puberty happened. And like I said, things get a little deeper. You get a better understanding of life. And of course, I know grand, like the explanation, like a greater perspective of it, but you like, damn, like, this is like A plus B equals C. And it's like, damn, like, what? This is what my life is like this. And it's like, you just angry, you get upset. And these little smaller emotions that you didn't think much of when you were younger, multiplied by 10. And it's like, wow, like, and plus with the hormones, you just feel like you about to explode. It was almost like pouring gasoline on a man that's on fire, and it intensified everything. Like I said, my sadness really turned into just my sadness, my sorrow really turned into just fear, anger, and just hatred and even rage. And I noticed that like towards like the back end of like my teen years, when dealing with a lot of my own personal things. Like, for example, I don't mean to just put myself out there like that, but let's say a lot of people inside the U.S., they grow up fatherless or like being neglected and that type of stuff. And of course, we all find a way to deal with it differently, but for the most part, society, most people don't make something of themselves because of, let's say, that lack of foundation in their household. And for myself, I try to walk a straight line. I try to build this foundation for myself, and it's so freaking hard to do so because of the lack of foundation. Because so long I was neglected, or for so long somebody haven't shown me the way. So now it's extra hard for me to make a path for myself. But like I said, the path has to be made regardless of how you lived, or like I said, how you was raised. I think that's the thing about life. Is your life, you gotta take control of it sooner or later, or because you can keep pointing the finger and really remain the same. And even like another observation I started to make about myself was that we see in society how like a lot of young males, their acts of aggression or acts of just rage and anger is pointed outward. I'm not saying that I'm the only person that this happens to, but I was always very inwardly of a person. So when I got angry, I was angry at myself. I was angry at things I had no control over. I was angry and I started to really hate myself. I couldn't accept myself for nothing. And that's just because of, when you live a certain way for so long and your outside reality reflects something that you believe inwardly, it just really confirms that negative belief that may not even be true. And that thing really just start to work against you. Like, I was always just down on myself. I was always thinking the worst of myself. And I was always just really just isolating myself from everybody. I just couldn't be around people just because to a certain extent, I just didn't like myself, and I just feel like I was unworthy of people's attention. I felt, even in my friend group, I felt like I was the lowest of the lowest, even though I don't know if they thought that. But like I said, that's what I always felt. I felt unworthy everywhere I went. I felt that I was less than everywhere I went. And let's say when my personality started to develop and things started shifting, I caused a lot of conflict with my peers, even at home, even at jobs and stuff like that, with people that I knew, because of I've been living my life in this negative manner, in such this lowly state, having this low self-esteem for so long that, like I said, it was causing disharmony when, like I said, I was growing and developing. And all that was really wrapped into my emotions. And I'm going to speak about this in a second, but when I turned 18, it seemed like that all really changed. Like, it was like a sudden, like, consciousness, like, leap ahead with myself. And I became like very mellow. I don't know where it came from. I think it's, like I said, I always just been a deep thinker, and like maybe just my brain developed a certain amount. So I'm like, okay, well, this is it then. Like I said, I don't know why I'm so upset about this happening to me. And like I said, now a lot of that had to deal with the things I used to really soothe myself. Like spirituality was something that I found. Philosophy, stoicism, all these type of things really something that really helped me with calming me down. Music was something that helped me calm myself down. Just being able to express how I felt, no matter, like I said, if they accepted it or anybody accepted it or not. I had to learn how to just really speak outwardly and speak my truth, no matter what, no matter how people react. Like I said, people left, they left. Like I said, you still, at the end of the day, you still have to learn how to express yourself freely. Like I said, nobody want to be walking around on eggshells. So another thing that helped me really identify and really cultivate this my own masculinity through my emotions was music. Now, especially when it was very hard for me to express myself. Music was one of the first things that I come into contact with. Tupac, probably one of my most favorite artists in the world. I wish I was alive during the 90s. I would love to meet him. Tupac has a great way of expressing rage and anger. I think or just passion, period. And I think that's why a lot of people gravitate towards him. Even though he's a real authentic person, I think he's one of the only few authentic people that was really in the media back in the 90s. He had a way to really speak to you emotionally. And I feel like that's a lost art amongst people, period. Is that people don't know how to be serious. People don't know I think people are in their emotions, but they're not in their emotions in a healthy manner, where people just going around childish, acting like kids. And I know people probably gonna poke holes in the Tupac argument, but I'm not really here for that. I really don't care. But he was one of the first people that helped me really deal with the anger, because I think in his music it was really expressing just the young black male anger, and helped me identify with it and understand on a deeper level that it just wasn't happening to me. And it helped me with just getting through it, as well as just, just spirituality and just looking at things from a higher perspective. I started to be like, damn, like maybe this is why, like I said, I grew up in poverty, because I'm supposed to learn this lesson and that lesson. And maybe that's why, let's say I was fathered, or maybe this is why I was neglectful, or maybe why, this is why I had a hard time expressing myself. It helped me look at things from a greater perspective that I couldn't see at my regular, just regular human level. And that was, like I said, that's when the sudden consciousness shift in myself. Well, the consciousness leap that I had myself when I like turned 18. I'm like, damn, my parents is people. I'm like, damn, my mama's fucked up, my daddy fucked up. I'm like, damn, these just regular people they self. And I'm like, why am I holding grudges and getting upset about the stuff that they did when they was young and they didn't know? Like I said, me personally, I just believe that I can't hold nobody against something that they didn't know. And even so, like I said, this their first time living in life too, so I can't just blame them. and just be ignorant, even though, like I said, that's one thing I understand about the world is that literally everybody has a plight, and everybody's reason for doing anything is understandable. But like I said, that don't change the fact that somebody, the messed up thing about it is that even though you may have a valid reason to do something, you still have to move with some honor, have to move with some morals, and you gotta honestly like live upright. But I mean, it is what it is. So spirituality helped me in that aspect. And then stoicism was just something that just helped me with just mellowing out as well. Like I had to learn, like, damn, like I'm a man. Like I know people try to act like being a man is like something small. They try to minimize like the man's role, but it's like that is like a big role. I'm about to say, I think in many ways, like people speak about the man as like he like an urban legend, and I think that's partially why like I'm in my head I'm so intrigued with it. It's like I want to be like the best man I can for just people around me, but also like in a way it's a twisted thing about me. Like I said, I want to do so much great shit. Is that I want to do so much great shit that whenever I'm gone and dead, like I know I'm gonna leave like a hole in people's heart. Maybe that's fucked up. I don't know, but like I said, it's just I just want to push myself to the most as best as I can really be, really, and then just leave like the Avatar, you know, just disappear one day and it's like, damn, like Kevin really gone. It's like that's really how I look at my life, and that's really how I try to look and try to progress with my own life. That's really my only really goals for real. I just want to help everybody around me. Of course, we all have our just regular, you know, human-like desires, but my overall just good desires is I just want to help people. I just want to get to a space where I can help people and help my family. I think that's really what it is. And like I said, and the crazy thing about it, I know I'm going on a tangent, but when I was younger, I think I was like 6, and I'm like, and that's something I decided when I was like a kid. I'm talking about like in elementary school. It's like, I'm like, damn, we really poor. And then throughout the years, I remember myself like writing in my notebook, like bringing the family back together. And I'm like, why am I thinking about this type of stuff at this age? And it is big responsibility to fit. I mean, it's a big, it's a big shoes, and that's a big responsibility that, like I said, I believe, like I said, if I don't do it, I don't know who is gonna do it. And I think that's just a job for people that are high attainers, really. Like I said, that's the thing about life is that a lot of people got good ideas. A lot of people got good things that they want to do. And if they don't do it, it's a high chance that it might not ever get done. And like I said, and this is like everyday people. They got a lot of good ideas, but they refuse to accept the fact of, you know, that it's going to be hard. And they just fall wayside to, let's say, they possible destiny. And I ain't gonna lie, it's kind of sad to see. I know at times I've done that too, because I got good ideas, and it's hard for me to like bring them to fruition and just bring them, to manifest them in like the physical, but that don't mean I stop trying to work for them. But yeah, so yeah, those are the things like that help me really cultivate my masculinity in an emotional setting. Like I said, music, just really taking the time to really identify myself and identify how I was feeling, really taking myself through the emotions, taking myself, you know, out of my own shoes and putting myself in like other people's shoes. My perspective changed. Being able to really look at it from a spiritual point of view, look at it from the Stoics' point of view, like being able to just bear pain and, like I said, be legit, just be a man about it. I think that's one thing that, even though, like I said, of course, I don't have no role models to really, no environmental, like, that surrounding me, role models to really handle it, I still got to find a way. Like I said, I think if you sincerely want to do something, I think the universe will align with you and really help you do that. So that's why I'm here. So yeah, if y'all like the video, like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see y'all later. Thank you. And thank y'all for watching my tangent too. I know I was going off. I was just going off and just whatever was coming to my head. But yeah, thank you.